Thursday, July 15th. Time for a little update. So notice I've stripped the floor. Let me pull it out and just put some 3/4 polyisocyanurate insulation under it. It's a mouthful. Got my bed rails installed. So there's my panels out there. There's also a few of these wood pieces, mostly around the tie downs, just to pull the tie downs. So I'm going to leave those there and cut my insulation around it. So there's my polyiso insulation. So we're just going to put these things on top of it and cut it out. Got the insulation all laid out. A few extra pieces. Took 3 sheets. I was afraid it was going to take more. Now, put it back in the van. Okay, so got the insulation in here. I don't have it glued down or anything. I'm hoping that when I still going to use the tie downs, and I'm hoping when I put the tie downs in there that will pull the floor down tight enough to keep this from moving. I did tape it together. This piece also, I used the factory Velcro to hold it down, so maybe that'll help a little bit. Hey everybody, Scott PDX here. Today is Saturday, July 17th. Back in the van today. The last few days have been floors. So I pulled up all the floors and I put in some insulation. I put just a 1/2-inch polyisocyanurate insulation there. Now, I have a crew version of the Sprinter van, and it's got these rails here for this seat, which has been an issue. You know, before I was just kind of keeping the rails in there, and I had some little wood inserts that I dropped in there that worked fine. But I decided I wanted to have a nice floor. So what I did, just going to pull one of these out. So when I pulled this floor up, there's a bunch of foam on the bottom of this floor and staples, and so I pulled all that out. Actually, it's just a real thin piece of foam, and so what I did is I cut a piece of scrap plywood that's about a 5/16 inch thick, and I glued that foam back on this plywood just because those two things are about the right height here to where when I put the floating floor over this, that it should support it. So just, you know, it's nice to reuse materials. So I was careful when I stripped up this floor to peel that foam off it and use it carefully. So my next step is I'm going to put down some luxury vinyl floor. So it'll be vinyl planks. I'm going to use the Life-Proof ones from Home Depot. Evidently the reviews are pretty good on them. They don't contract a whole lot, so we're going to give it a try. I was a little concerned. I had second thoughts this morning about putting the floor down right now because, you know, if I put the fixtures in, you know, my kitchen and the bench that I want to do, etc., I could put the floor around that and save a little bit of money. The floor was about $300. But, you know, it may be a long time before I get all those fixtures in. It may be a year. You know, I kind of want to get this into camping shape sooner than that and slowly pick away at it. So I decided to screw it. I'll just put the floor down. And then I had second thoughts about these tie downs. Let me show you these tie downs. Okay, so let's talk about these tie downs for a second. So this one's not attached. You notice that the screw is just barely long enough. I could screw that in, but it's just not quite there. So put the screw and the tie down. The reason for that is because I've added this extra layer of insulation there. The stock screws do fit through that extra 1/2 inch. It pulls this down just a little bit, but it's not bad. I think that works just fine. But I'm going to raise it up another about 3/8 of an inch with this new vinyl, and my screws aren't going to be long enough. Plus, you know, it's just going to be pulling this down on the top of the vinyl. I'm not sure if I want to route in a rabbit on the luxury vinyl or not. We'll do a little test. But I also don't want this to be tightened down so much that it causes the vinyl to bow up around it. So I think I might make some spacers. Actually, I don't know about this tie down, whether I need this one right here and that one over there, but I definitely want those two there and the two in the back. So I still got a few little decisions to make. Also, when I put on the vinyl, I got to cut out these 2 holes over there because that's for the rear air con. No, rear heat ducts, whatever. I might as well keep those. It's kind of a pain in the butt, to be honest, because I've got to air's going to come out there, but I want to have a bench seat there, so I got to build a channel to get the air out. Ugh, cross that bridge later. So anyways, that's where I am. Next stop is going to be start putting some flooring down. Hey everybody, Scott PDX. Today is Tuesday, July 20th. So here's where I am on the van today. I've got the floor installed. Fortunately, I've got it covered with crap, but give you an idea of the floor. Got the little heater vent installed again. Got some little trim on the floor in. Just installed a little bit of the floor material here. It's just held on with some Velcro. So the material is life-proof vinyl plank flooring from Home Depot. We'll see how it holds up to the temperature changes that a van has. So tonight on the van, I'm just kind of taking care of some loose ends. For example, over here, these bolts that are holding the bed rail on, I kind of replaced those. I just had screws in there before, and I replaced them with some stainless bolts with a little bit of Loctite on them, since that's going to hold up the bed. I don't want that coming down on me. Let's see, my overhead fan up there. I didn't quite have it, this fan up here, I didn't quite have that trim ring done quite right. I needed to take a little more room off it, so I cut that off. And then I finished the trim around the floor, around the door. And I installed that floor vent. I think those are most of the tasks that I was going to do tonight. Trying to get ready. Let's see, today's Tuesday. I have this weekend, and then the weekend after is my birthday, and I want to get out of town for like 3 days. So I've got a list of things I want to get done in order to do that camping trip. And you know, obviously the van's a long ways from being done, but I've kind of got a plan to where I have a phase 1 plan and a phase 2 plan. And phase 1 is basically get the lights, the insulation done, some power going, and the bed going, and so I can kind of camp in it. And then once it's mobile, I can kind of camp in it, get some experience in it, and then slowly build out the other stuff. So I'm still working on that phase 1 plan. I don't think I'm going to have the bed in place by this trip, but that's okay, because I'm just going to throw it on a cot, and that'll work fine. And I got a little temporary table I can set up over here on the edge, but I need to have the window coverings ready. It's going to be a real trick. And I'd like to get these B pillars installed, which means I need to do some wiring back over here in these corners, which is not a ton of stuff. And then the other big thing is insulation. So I obviously don't have any of the lower insulation done. You know, everything from the roof on up has been insulated. You know, so everything from this line on up has been insulated, but obviously I need to do this insulation. So that's going to be a priority, and some window covers I think are going to be a priority for camping. So it's 8:30 now. I think I'm done doing my hard work for the night, but I think I'm going to do some measuring for my insulation. We'll see how that goes. I might just crack a beer instead. But anyways, it's sometimes fun working on the van. Sometimes it's a bit of a chore. I'm really looking forward to having it built out a little bit more and be able to use it and go have some adventures. So that's what the push is now, is to get it somewhat usable so I can go out and have some fun in it later this summer and early fall. Hey everybody, Scott PDX. Today is Wednesday, January 21st. And today we're working on insulation. So here's what I got going on so far. So I've got this panel which has the window in it, and this whole row on the passenger side, that panel all insulated. I don't have the slider door done, the top up there, nor do I have the rear doors insulated yet. I do have most of this wall except for this little cavity right here. That's a window, but we've got some over here that I've filled in also. I'm going to have to stuff some insulation up in these B pillars, maybe just a little bit. I don't know, I'll have to see what's back in there. I'll also have to do those B pillars as well. Kind of stuffed insulation as best I could up these things, but it's a little bit hard. I hear other people talking about not insulating those, something about a stack effect. You know, same thing goes here, but I pushed insulation up there as far as I could, and we'll let it go with that. So anyways, I'm getting there. I'm slowly working on this van and getting her done. It's going to take a while, but you know, it's fun to chip away at it, and it's nice to see the progress. Hey, what's going on? Scott PDX. Today is Friday, July 23rd. So a little update on where I am on the van. I've got all the insulation on the sides and the windows done. Over here, I got this insulation done. Floor's done. Right now, I'm insulating these back doors here. But these doors, I took the panel off up on the top. I need to run a wire down through this center opening in the door. And then I want to run it up into here and put some lights and some speakers up in this very top area of the door there. So I'm trying to fish through some wires, and while I'm back here, I really want to put in this stock, I'm going to call it a B-pillar, I don't know what you call it, but some sort of a piece of plastic that goes here. But I want to run those wires first, and then into this piece of plastic I'm going to put a USB charger and a cigarette charger, just so when you're laying in bed, you know, the bed's going to be right about here, and there'll be a couple of chargers right here. The USB chargers, I got some little flexible gooseneck lights that will go in there, so that'll be the lights at the bed. Hey everybody, Scott PDX. Today is Wednesday, July 28th. Out in the Sprinter again. Ooh, it's a little warm in here since I've got the fans turned off and everything, so my audio is hopefully a little better. I've been working on the wiring a bit, so you know, I've got a lot of my temporary DC loads are on there. It was kind of dim, but I've been working a lot on getting all the panels back in. So I got the door panels in. I had to run some wire through this little conduit to get these overhead lights installed. Oh, so here's a template that I'm working on for this panel back here under the bed. That panel will attach to the wall, and it's going to be 3/4 inch thick wood, so I can have a secure mount for all my electrical components, and my batteries will all be right over that wheel well, fill up that kind of empty space right there. The other thing is we've got some curtains here. Cindy made these up for me. They're just they're magnetized, so they just stick up here, and two straps. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. One strap, two straps, and then they come down. They got more magnets there. It's got some Reflectix in here, so hopefully that will keep some of the heat out. And I've also got some real cheap DIY ones that I got for these windows back here. These ones I just made. They're just a little bit of Velcro that'll just sit on there. Okay, so these window coverings are now on there. And you know, that's just for have a little bit of privacy if I need some privacy during the day to change clothes or for whatever reason. Just trying to get on phase one, which is being able to use the van and go out and do some camping. So that's what I'm focused on right now. So that's the update here, and that's all I got. I'll talk to you later. Scott PDX out.